Hey guys, it's Quana. I'm not even gonna front. I know I look a hot mess. It has been one of those weeks, and I'm just glad I'm here, and I'm glad that you're here, and I am really glad that we have this new episode of Insecure. I don't know about you, but I needed this after the week that we have had, and I think it was so fitting that this episode was called Lowkey Happy because it's been hard to find things to be happy about. And so this episode made me low key happy as well. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So, this episode, we finally get a chance to see who Lawrence was calling to meet up. Well, we think we know that it was Issa, but in reality, because we know he was also communicating with Condola through the night, he could have been calling Condola. Ultimately, he's at the bar. He pops some mints. We see he's getting ready, and it's Issa. Of course, we've seen that from the promo. Issa comes through, and she looking cute. Her hair looks cute. Her outfit, oh my gosh. Her skin was popping. She looked gorgeous. And old girl walks in. She getting her strut on, and lo and behold, if she don't face plant into the daggone ground. And I about squealed and was like, that was some stuff I would do. And I just felt so embarrassed for my girl. And she couldn't even get up off the floor. She couldn't even pick her face up. She just was on the floor. The whole restaurant saw her. That was some embarrassing stuff. So then she finally gets up. She sits down to order a drink. Lawrence goes ahead and he orders her drink for her. And she's like, oh, but that's not my drink anymore. And I liked it. It was kind of like a new drink, new me kind of feel to it. Versus Lawrence, who was still drinking his regular drink. One of the things that they started talking about are the ways in which they were new people. Like, I'll kind of talk about, she says, I heard you and Condola broke up. He's like, I thought you would hear about that. And at the beginning, they're just making small talk. But one of the things that was interesting that he said was, I don't want to be afraid to move on from from Sugar Honey Iced Tea, which is why he is meeting with her, because he wants to find out if she is someone who, because he has moved on from her, but there's still lingering feelings. Should he move on from her? Should he move on from Condola? Should he move on to these new opportunities in San Francisco? We don't know what he's going to do. So everybody up in the restaurant is turned. They're having a good little Lizzo party, and the one song comes on. What's the song? Why men great till they gotta be great, and everybody turned up. Woo! Everybody in the club is turned up, and it's not even a club. It's just like a little lounge. They loud, so they can't talk. Bruh comes and gets in between them, and they both looking like, hold up, like, for real? You don't see us sitting here? But they look like they were having a good time. So they decide they're going to leave and check out this restaurant that they had meant to go to for years while they were together. But Issa has already been there on some of her dates. So they're talking about the food on the menu, and she's like, oh, I got it. And she starts ordering off everything, and we see a much more decisive Issa, an Issa who knows what she wants. Again, I told y'all I've been rewatching episodes, so this is such a difference from in season 1, episode 1, when her and Molly are at the Ethiopian restaurant and they don't know what they want. Here, she knows what she wants. She's like, I got it, and she's placing the order for her. And I love that we can see how she's grown, because many of us have seen how she's grown in terms of knowing that she wanted to do the block party, but she really has grown individually in so many little subtle ways. So they start rehashing their relationship. Well, before they even go and eat, shout out to the shout out for Kurt Franklin in the little restaurant. And I thought, daggone, did they know that this was, of course they didn't know this was going to happen, but I thought it was ironic because we just had a versus battle, Kurt Franklin and Fred Hammond, which was amazing. If you love good gospel music and you need some healing from everything that's been going on, I check it out. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. I cried. It was good. It was what we needed. So they finally start hashing out all the stuff that went down in their relationship. And she starts telling him how, it wasn't necessarily that it was Daniel, although it was specific to Daniel because there were emotions and feelings she had attached to him from back in their like high school or college days. But it was also just that he came around. He was the right person to come around at the wrong time. And she was already in her feelings. She wasn't feeling like she was getting any love from Lawrence. He didn't want her. And they wasn't having sex for like a whole year. Like, wow. I mean, like, you got some dry spells, but that's like a whole dry 365 days. And Lawrence, again, he said something that made me think of what Molly tends to say about Issa, which was some part of you had to want to blow that up. Like the fact that they were trying to reconcile at that moment. And she admits, and that made me think of Molly because Molly is also always claiming that Issa likes messiness. Like she doesn't know how to be happy. And there might have been a little bit of truth to that because I think about when you are hurt, they were trying to reconcile, but they hadn't really told the truth about what was damaged in the relationship. And so I think where she said no, she really didn't want to blow anything up. She just didn't want to fall back to old patterns. I think what she was really saying was she didn't want to just gloss over all of the hurt and the damage that existed in their relationship. And if she had just let everything fall and they reconciled and gotten engaged and all that, would they really be at this point now where they really have true growth? Would they have become better people? And would she have figured out what she really wanted in life? It was a heavy conversation, but they really aired that mess out. No eggshells, as he said. So then they leave, and they walking out, and they talking and everything. And what do we hear? We hear bloop, 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 bloop. It's TSA Calvin. Child, I was like, I felt for Issa in that moment. I was like, oh Lord, here he come. What he gonna say? This is embarrassing. He was there with his little new girl, Mazda. I guess that wasn't the baby mama. So we see Calvin is just trash anyway because he had a new girl, I'm guessing. Or maybe that was his wife. I don't know. But I don't think it was. And so Lawrence is just getting his whole life. He's probing, trying to find out how they were together. Calvin was like, oh, we was getting it in. Oh my gosh. There was so many moments that you got the heaviness layered in with the funny. And you could tell Natasha Rothwell, you did that. You wrote that episode, baby. You did a good job. So they find out, there's a showing at the art walk, so they decide to head over. But then for a second, Lawrence played her and was like, well, I gotta go. Bye. And just was gonna bounce. And I was like, if this black man, is he for real? And then here he comes. I was like, bloop, bloop. I'm stealing that. I'm about to mess with you for the rest of your life. Every time you see me, I'm like, bloop, bloop. My mouth was just like, for real, we doing this? So they get to the art walk, looking at the artwork, and they get to this piece called Happiness Illustrated. And it gets them on this discussion about finding your happiness or making your happiness. And we see that Issa, she really has grown because she's like, I've been waiting for my happiness to happen to me, but I've decided that I'm going to make my own happiness. And I thought it was interesting because Lawrence, he said he was happy, but then he also kind of said that he realized he didn't have to be the ideas guy or make stuff. He could help someone else execute their vision. And I have two thoughts about this. So I'm going to go with y'all going. I'm going to go deep a little bit. So on the one hand, when he said that, I was disappointed. Okay. I was disappointed when he said that at first because I was like, so you just going to, is that you falling into like a trapping of complacency? But then I thought about this conversation that Kevin on stage and his wife had with Tabitha Brown and her husband, Chance, talking about how in a relationship you have one person who is the dreamer and then one person who is like the realist, one person who's the kite and one person who's the string. And so I thought, well, if they got back together, is he basically saying Issa really is the kite now, and he would be her string if they were to get back together. Um, so it made me think about that. So at first I was upset because also there was this moment where they were talking about their happiness, and Issa is in front of green lights and Lawrence is in front of red lights. And I was just looking at that as like, it seems like Issa really has grown and Lawrence is almost kind of stagnant in so many ways. I mean, yeah, we've seen some growth where he has his own place and his relationship with Condola and he got a job. But in so many other ways, he's very much still the same. Same drink, same things that he likes to eat pretty much. She was able to predict that. And then now he's saying, I'm going to be okay achieving somebody else's vision. So I don't know how I feel about that. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that down in the comments. I don't know if I'm fleshing that out, but y'all see where I'm going with it. So anyway, they go ahead and get back in the lift and they head back to his place. And she's talking junk, and so he decides, he's like, well, come on in. You talking junk. I'm going to show you how fly my place is. Now, this whole night, Condola has been texting him because he was going to meet up with her. Well, he was going to meet up with her, like, later in the week. She messaged him earlier in the evening. It's like, hey, that's not going to work. Can we meet tonight? So he's like, okay, fine. I'll hit you up when I'm done. So then while they're at his place and Issa's touring his apartment, and she's like, wow, you really have matured a bit. And she goes to the bathroom. Who calls him but Condola? It's like, hey, are you still coming by? He's like, okay, well, I'm not done yet, but I'll hit you up when I'm done. So he kind of keeps her on the fence, which I thought was kind of interesting. He comes back in. Issa's like, who is that, Condola? He was like, yeah. And so then finally she's getting ready to leave for the night. And she's like, wait a second, what if I don't want to leave? What if I'm not ready for the night to be over? And he's like, I had a good night. This made me happy. And she's like, well, she says to him, you make me happy. Well, that was it. Next thing you know, the draws is off and they hitting it. And it was, I get a little squeamish sometimes watching sex scenes, but it was also very beautiful just to see two brown skinned, dark skinned people in a beautiful romance scene. It was very nice because so often on the show you get maybe like, well, with the exception of her and Daniel, right? You get like a light skinned person and a dark skinned person. It was just nice just to see the browns just blending and swirling all together in the show. So then oddly enough, wake up the next day, she has her little art shirt on from the art walk, and the tone is very different. They're playing around, but then she gets up and she starts getting ready to leave. Like there's no communication, no talk of whether this is going to be a thing. And it made me kind of realize, I guess maybe where a lot of people want them to be a thing, maybe the answer isn't that it's going to be a thing. Maybe it was just about what makes them happy in the moment. Maybe they don't have to get back together and go back to old ways. Maybe it was just they needed that closure of airing everything out, having that last time together that was beautiful and peaceful and happy, and not having everything be shrouded in misery. So we don't know yet if they're going to be getting back together. And the way it ended, it felt like a goodbye. It felt like, okay, this was good. I checked that off the list and I'm good and I'm happy and I'm peaceful. So she walks home. It was a long walk in the boots. She made it sound like it was around the corner. And my around the corner, her around the corner are obviously very different by definitions. And so that is where the show ended. So we don't know if they're going to get back together, but I honestly think that they're not going to get back together. I think this was just like, we ended this on a nice note and we got the goodbye we needed and we don't need anything else. And now he can move on to other things. And I feel like that's really what we finally got. And we won't kind of keep having these old flames keep popping up because we're good now. All right, so that was this episode. So it was beautiful. It was a good episode. It wasn't the best episode. So yeah, it was a beautiful episode. It wasn't I don't I don't know if I like this one better than the Block Party episode, but it felt good. It came at the right time. Issa had somebody said online, today was a good day. Issa had a good day, and we all, I think, collectively needed Issa to have a good day because we needed a good day. So I know some people don't like spoilers for the promo. So if you get ready to X out now, go ahead and do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, please. I thank y'all. Come join me. I need friends over in this corner of my little YouTube universe. So please come and be my friend. Won't you be my neighbor? But I do want to say, so they aired the promo. It's very short. It's like 47 seconds, but it is very clear from the promo that it's going to be centered around Issa and Molly maybe trying to make peace and reconciling. On the one hand, the way that I'm feeling about the world right now, I would like for them to make peace no matter what, whether they're going to stay friends or whether they're going to go their separate ways. Kind of like with her and Lawrence, I want them to have peace and be able to go forward in their life some way, somehow. Now, while I say that, and that might even be the catalyst for her contacting Molly, I hate that it looks like she's the one contacting Molly, because Molly is still in the episode talking junk about her to Andrew, already having it fixated in her head. And this is the part about Molly that I cannot, and I sound real country right now, I'm sorry y'all, but this is the part of Molly that I cannot stand. It's like, did she not go see Dr. Rhonda yet? Have you not seen Dr. Rhonda yet? Because you are still fixing your mouth to talk bad about this woman. And it's like, why? For what reason? Over that? Over still this? Like, even if it's just she didn't respect the bonds of my relationship. Andrew said he was fine. So some of that you need to let go. And even if you like, okay, duly noted, you don't respect my wishes, so we're going to be over here. Like, do you still have to keep fixing your mouth against somebody? So y'all, I'm trying not to be, because I like Yvonne, but I'm trying not to be over here, sitting here next week looking like this. But I feel like I'm going to be looking like this with my head cocked to the side the whole episode. Like, you trash, you still trash. I'm going to need you to, I feel like Natasha Rothwell on Donald Trump's Twitter feed. Every day, you trash. Just in case you forgot, you trash, you still trash. Every day I'm going to let you know you trash. So I don't know how I feel about next week. So I need it this week. And maybe the rest of this week will get a little better. And then I can be ready. Because I feel like if this week is rough, and then we have to deal with drama from Molly, I'm gonna be mighty pissed. In real life, shout out to Kendrick Sampson, who has been fighting the good fight, hitting the front lines. I sat there and I watched his IG for about an hour and a half. The protest that he was a part of in LA. I'm telling you, bro, it's about that life. And I like even though I love the chemistry between Lawrence and Issa, I love the chemistry between Nathan and Issa. Issa, the character, obviously. And because we do know that a part of his issue is the mental health portion of things, I want that to be something that they can talk about, that they can get him help for, and that it's not, they were seeing each other and he ghosted her, but it wasn't like they were in a long-term relationship or anything like that. So I feel like they can come back from that. So I hope that they can. I feel like we're going to have the Molly episode, and then the last episode we're going to find out who she's choosing. Side note, I kind of hope we get a time jump in the last episode. My glasses are mad crooked, y'all. I hope we get a time jump because I kind of want to see her having had an opportunity to host a couple of events and have them go well. I want to see Issa grow even more. I mean, they're doing it, but at the same time, we definitely need more Tiffany. and more Kelly more than Tiffany. But we need to figure out what's going on with Tiffany and this baby, and I don't want them to gloss over that. And the next season, the baby is grown and two or something, and she's moved past that. So I hope that they touch on those things, because we only have 2 episodes left, y'all. If I'm not mistaken, just 2. That's it. So let me know down below in the comments what you think. Are you team Lawrence and Issa? Are you team Issa and Nathan? Are you team Issa and find a new boo? Do you think Lawrence is going to take the job in San Francisco? Are he and Condola going to get back together? Let me know down below in the comments what you think is going to happen. And until next time, guys, keep your mental health up and stay happy. Toodles.